the younger consumer, primarily ages 17 to 25. We call them the post 95, the zero zeros, 2000s, and they are much younger than your typical luxury or premium beauty user that's in the West. But they have extremely more disposable income, and they're really willing to try new brands, really want to express themselves through trying these new brands. So you'll see that they're really attractive to really niche brands, especially the ones that they can't find just anywhere else, right? Of course, the big brands are there. We are there as well. The L'Oreal, Shiseido, Estee Lauder. But you'll see pretty much that there's a whole group of really small niche brands locally, as well as the brands from the West that are entering China through cross-border. So I'm sure some of the listeners today have either have their own brands or thinking about how to enter China, and that is a big opportunity for them. Same time, with the COVID-19 happening, China was shut down for basically about a month and a half. So all throughout Chinese New Year, people were home. But starting March, when the country was opening up, more and more consumers are going back, into the stores. So you'll see that especially in June, we have about the data shows almost a 70% increase of foot traffic into the brick and mortar stores versus back in March. So there's a huge resurgence of the consumers returning to the brick and mortar. So that shows hope, I think, for the rest of the
Yes.
regions. And also, I think one thing about Chinese consumers that they're pretty resilient, right? They have a very optimistic view towards the future. We just did a survey to all the beauty consumers in China, and 50% of them really felt that they're not going to change their consumption behavior. So basically, they're not going to cut down or kind of not treat themselves. So you'll see that in the beauty category, consumers are continuing trying to take care of themselves. They still want to look beautiful. They're still purchasing all the things that they did before COVID. And then you see that for a lot of the brick and mortar stores, the ones that are surviving and the ones that are thriving are really local players that are tapped into the consumers in China who wants to go to the brick and mortars to experience the brand. So you'll see a lot of innovative ways of retailing in the stores. So they're pretty much copying kind of like fast fashion, but it's fast beauty. So they're launching new series on a weekly basis. When you go into the store, a lot of places where you can take selfies, in China, everyone likes to share on social media. So a lot of points where you can actually engage with what's going on in the store. And then you can upload your photo and you share it in the store as well. So they're doing a lot of O2O kind of connection. So these stores are really striving, but the ones that are not really doing that well, to be honest, are a lot of the Western companies. So Sephora, for example, who's been in China for 14 years, they have over 230 stores. They had a negative, I think the data showed a negative 25 decrease over this period, even though they've been in China for so long. And then you have Space NK, who, I think really entered China with a lot of really great ambition. They just announced in April that they're leaving due to not being able to adapt to the local consumer. So I think with all of that, it's very important for all the brands to really, understand where the consumer is coming from, give them the excitement, the news, but they will also want to experience it from more of a real brick and mortar perspective. So I think I see a lot of hope for all the brands. And then in China, looking at what's happening in China, the recovery that's been happening. I think once this COVID is over, I do feel all the consumers will return like before. So it's a pretty good optimistic view in my point.